Okay, now I'm going to show you how to finish a butt joint. And for a butt joint, first of all, I showed you that we've got the hump here. So what we want to do is start out by coating this about 2 knives wide. Let's just go fairly heavy. And I'll point out that I'm starting out with a pretty heavy or full pan of mud. So we're putting this on fairly heavy. And see if I can give you an idea here. Yeah. That's got, it's like an 1/8 of an inch thick right there. We're wanting to put on enough to cover the mesh tape well and then extend it out. So now we do the usual feather the edges and then make a pass down the middle, laying your knife down with medium firm force and then much lighter force. We come out here and do like that. And you could leave it right there and everything would be good. Because on the next step, you're gonna lightly sand it. You're gonna take off this high edge and this one, and it's ready to coat for the next step. If you're gonna leave an edge, the best place to leave it is in the middle of the mud sticking up. Those sand off really quickly and easily when you leave them out on the edge out here. The outer edges are much harder to sand off. So there's your first step. Extend it out about 22 inches wide. The mesh tape should be mostly buried, barely showing through, and we're gonna let this dry and sand it and then go on to the next step. Okay, now I don't have time to let this one actually dry because I'm on the final day of my job here. Just thought I'd shoot this quick video for you. So let's say this is dry. We would quickly sand, just brush, sand those edges off, and that's it. And then we're ready to coat this whiter. And again, we're assuming it's got a decent hump. And if it's dry, you could check it right now and you could see if you still have a decent hump, you want to go even whiter. So what you do is put another coat down the middle, but this time come out here and overlap a little bit and put a heavy coat out here and a heavy coat out here. And then I may just go ahead and smooth that with another medium heavy coat. Let's get it just a little bit heavier. Okay, now you can see we put most of the mud on, and that's just that part of it. So if you're doing a full 4-foot butt joint, expect to use up a full pan of mud for each coat. That's pretty normal. So the same thing, feather the edge, feather the edge. Let's go down the middle. I kind of like to go down the middle first because what I'm doing is now I'm kind of flattening the middle so that now when I come over here, it's gonna taper it over a little bit. And it's not dead flat by any means, it just flattens it a little. And again, on the outside, we want even less pressure, very light. If you've ever watched Bob Ross use the term 3 hairs in some air, that's kind of what we're doing here. 3 fingers in some air because we're not using a paintbrush. Now you could come over here and very lightly hit it if you want. And again right here, but I usually don't go that far. That's kind of what I'm looking for right there. When we let this dry and sand these off, then it should be in pretty decent shape and we can contour it a little bit more. When you sand, you want to sand till the mesh tape just about starts showing through at the most. If you start seeing the mesh tape or the paper tape, stop. You don't want to go any further. And I'm going to show a little illustration of what you're trying to accomplish here. This little illustration here will show you kind of what the final hump contour shape is supposed to look like. And you're basically making it as gentle, tapered out curve as you can, because what it is, it's all about lighting. The shadows are what give away humps. So the more gradual that shadow develops, the less you can see it. You make it shallow enough like this and you just can't see it. If this were a level 5 or something, we might have to go a step further. But also for you, don't be surprised if it takes you a couple more coats. But if you can get it about this smooth each time and a little bit of sanding with a pole sander or a flat hand sander, you're going to get this in pretty good shape. So that's basically what it takes. Now, don't be disappointed if it's way harder than it looks. You might have a good feel for this, but most people struggle with this kind of heavy coating. And if that's the case, you either need a lot more practice, which it takes most drywall finishers years to learn this and learn it well. So just to do it at home and get decent, I wouldn't try and do a whole house myself. But if you just got a repair or two or a butt joint or two, you can give it a try. And just don't over sand. I see so many people just sand these things to death. Try and get it smooth in this step and then sand it smooth if you can. And again, you're not sanding it flat, you're just sanding it at this gradual contour. So I hope that helps. We're going to show you some other steps in drywall, such as corner bead and spotting nails. And we may show those on a separate video, I'm not sure, but just look for links at the end of our video. And in the meantime, thanks for stopping by as always and checking out our videos. If you'll take a minute to subscribe at the end of this video, there should be a link, or look at the one down below. And comments are welcome. If you've got any comments on how we did this or how to do it, feel free to ask. I'll try and explain it. This one may be a bit difficult to explain in words, but I'll see what I can do to help you out. Thanks a lot, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.